John never expected a simple lunch break to turn into chaos, but the moment he saw his boss walking toward him, his heart nearly stopped. His mind raced, and in a moment of panic, he introduced Christine and her son, Ben, as his wife and child, two complete strangers he had spoken to only seconds earlier. Christine stared at him in shock, Ben frowned, and John's boss looked pleasantly surprised, which only worsened the pressure. When they got a moment alone, John admitted he lied about having a family just to seem committed and stable for an upcoming promotion. Christine wanted nothing to do with it, and Ben was even more resistant, especially when John tried bribing him with dessert. But the moment John offered his old phone to replace Ben's broken one, something softened between them. After seeing how desperate and lost John looked, Christine finally agreed to help him, for one evening only. Little did they know, that one lie would begin to change all their lives. Christine never imagined she'd spend her afternoon rehearsing a fake love story with a stranger, but there she was, sitting across from John while Ben confidently explained how they needed to act like a real family. Ben insisted that their story had to be convincing, how they met, the little things they liked about each other, and even how long they had supposedly been together. John struggled at first, nervously fumbling over his words, speaking too quietly, and barely making eye contact. Christine watched him with a mixture of amusement and sympathy because under all the stress, he seemed like someone who hadn't felt warmth or closeness in years. As they walked through the small-town streets practicing their roles, the golden light around them created an odd sense of comfort, almost like the world was giving them permission to play along. Ben teased John for acting too stiff, but even that playful energy started to bring them closer. And as they continued preparing, something subtle began shifting inside each of them. John had spent years believing that feelings were a distraction, something that slowed you down and messed with discipline. But as he watched Christine move, talk, and laugh during their pretend rehearsals, he realized that something inside him was melting. Her presence felt gentle yet strong, and every time she smiled, he felt a warmth he hadn't felt since childhood. That night, when he finally returned home, he found himself replaying every moment in his mind, the way Christine tucked her hair back, the genuine kindness in her eyes, the way Ben joked with him like they'd known each other longer than a few hours. He tried to sleep, but his mind refused to settle. Instead, he stared at the ceiling, questioning why pretending to have a family felt more real than his entire adult life. The loneliness he had ignored for years suddenly felt heavy, and Christine's face kept returning to him like a light he couldn't turn away from. Somewhere in the quiet darkness, he realized he didn't want the next day to be just another act. The next evening at the office party, everything felt strangely perfect. John entered with Christine and Ben by his side, and for the first time, he felt proud, almost as if they truly belonged there. His co-workers were charmed, the room felt warm, and Christine's calm presence made him feel grounded. But that peace shattered the moment Harry walked in. Christine froze, Ben stiffened, and John felt the entire atmosphere collapse. Harry recognized Christine instantly, because he wasn't just anyone. He was her ex-husband, the man who abandoned her and Ben years ago. The confrontation erupted painfully fast. Harry accused her of finding a sugar daddy, mocked John for being gullible, and acted like a father he never was. Ben finally stepped forward, trembling but brave, and told Harry exactly what kind of man he had been. The room went silent, and John's boss demanded an explanation. In that moment, all the lies, fear, and pressure cornered John completely, pushing him into the truth he had tried to avoid. With everyone staring at him and Christine walking away in tears, John made a decision he never expected from himself. He didn't run, he didn't hide, he followed her outside, calling her name with urgency he'd never felt before. Christine turned, exhausted, disappointed, and worried about the consequences he now faced. She told him to go back, explain everything to his boss, and salvage whatever was left of his career. But John shook his head, his voice trembling as he said the words he didn't know he had in him. He admitted that he'd spent his whole life chasing success, building walls instead of relationships, choosing work over human connection. He confessed that in the short time he spent with her and Ben, he felt something he had never experienced, belonging. He didn't care about the promotion anymore, he cared about her. Christine's expression softened, conflicted but touched. For the first time, he wasn't lying, not even a little. He had finally spoken the truth his heart had been hiding. When they walked back inside together, John prepared himself for the worst. The boss approached with a serious expression and asked to speak with him privately. Christine and Ben waited anxiously across the room. John apologized honestly, taking full responsibility for the lie and detailing every mistake he'd made. He expected immediate dismissal. Instead, his boss surprised him with something entirely different, a chance to start over. The boss told him that sincerity meant more than perfection, and if John could learn from this, he deserved another chance. Not only did he keep his job, but he was offered a bigger office. When John returned to Christine and Ben, the three of them shared a moment that felt real, warm, and full of possibility. Walking out of the building together, they weren't pretending anymore. They were choosing each other. And in that choice, a new beginning quietly unfolded, one built not on lies, but on love, courage, and finally understanding what truly matters in life.